This is Roseanne. Famously had a self-titled TV show in the 90s with John Goodman. Well, she's gone down a conspiracy rabbit hole about as hard as you can, and found herself on the other side of it, sitting in a chair next to Alex Jones. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, don't sweat it. This stands independently of the rest. I'll provide context if it's missing. In this one, Roseanne is about to go on about the depopulation effort the government is secretly engaging in, and how they have heart attack guns that they use, and blah, blah, blah. That's the level we're at now, if you were wondering. We're at the heart attack gun level. Oh, and she's pretending to be Jewish. I can't tell if she actually is or not. This happened on a Saturday, and she's talked about Satan a few times. So if she is Jewish, she's an anti-Semitic one that doesn't observe the customs. Anyways, let's give this a listen.
How do you think Team Humanity, Team Freedom versus Team Demon's doing right now?
Well, I think they can't fight us because one thing they don't know nothing about is the human soul and the human spirit. So they don't.
Dude, what are we even looking at right now? What is this? Are these people standing up here protesting something? I don't know.
Even know how to fight it. All they can do is just blow up stuff and cause earthquakes with their earthquake and heart attack machines and stuff like that. And
heart attack machines?
They're just trying to kill everybody or kill as many people as they can. They don't like thinkers. They're trying to get rid of all the thinkers, especially
Roseanne and Alex Jones and other people that adhere to the Great Reset conspiracy are claiming that Klaus Schwab's trying to depopulate the planet, and they're doing it through vaccines. It's just unhinged, nonsensical garbage, of course. All right, let's keep listening to them.
Thinkers like you and me, Alex, because we talk to people and they don't like communicators neither, or people who can receive information. They like people who can't receive information, just people who can take stuff in through their eyes, memes and stuff when they look at screens, and then live their lives trying to replicate that. They don't like anybody who can hear. And that's why I like that prayer, "Hear, O Israel." You know, hear. That hearing is the most important thing. It's before seeing. Hearing the word is the most important thing. And that's why the word that we're talking right now is very, very important to awakening people up. Hearing wakes people up more than seeing because they can't see what's right in front of their face. Although,
dude, I don't even know what she's saying. It's like she's just rambling incoherently right now.
A lot of more people can. Like the quarantine when they was trying to bust down, you know, our economy and make everybody who was a small business owner go broke. That was why they was doing it.
I don't. What reason would the government? I mean, that's who she's talking about here, right? The government. What reason would the government have for trying to make people go broke and like lose their livelihood or destroy the economy? What reason do they have for trying to destroy the economy? Really? I mean, are they not thinking this through at all? Are they not processing this on the most basic level? This is insane.
But, you know, so then they can move in. Like, you know, Katrina, I think, was...
So they can move in?
The first time they was just trying it out, you know, how they go and...
Martial law, gun confiscation, all of it.
Yeah, well, destroy...
Okay, so Alex Jones famously claimed that, you know, Sandy Hook was like a lie and that they were actors, that, you know, all that stuff. And he got in so much trouble for that. Oh, my God. He's paying like $1 billion in lawsuits now. Well, anyways, his claim is that they lied about Sandy Hook in an effort to confiscate the guns. They tried to set it up. They lied about it so that they could confiscate people's guns. Well, guess what? That gun confiscation never happened, never came around. So even on the most basic level, the conspiracies that they form out are complete garbage, make no sense whatsoever.
A city and then going in after, you know, that's rock bottom prices.
But what you said about here, rather than see, studies show this, that watching stuff, that's all you do, causes brain neurons to die.
Yeah.
And Alzheimer's, neurological disorders.
Okay, I've never heard that before. Do not trust a word out of Alex Jones's mouth without verifying it yourself beforehand. The dude lies for a living, twists things around, misrepresents facts for a living, okay? That's what he does every day when he comes out here. Don't trust him.
If you read a book or you hear something, your brain is forced to access old memories and other things and build a composite. So your brain is creating the movie that increases neurons, increases IQ, increases health. And there is that beautiful Jewish knowledge what people attack all day, but that's what Christianity and Islam and everything.
Beautiful Jewish knowledge. Okay, the only time I ever hear that phrase used is when someone's about to say something really anti-Semitic. Kenneth Copeland claims that prosperity gospel is secret Jewish knowledge that has existed since the dawn of time. You can get rich if you give people your money or whatever. If you donate your money to God, basically, which translates to Kenneth Copeland. If you do that, then God will send money back to you 100-fold. It's a law of the universe. That's what prosperity gospel is. It's garbage, of course, but his claim is that it's secret Jewish knowledge that they've hidden from people for centuries, and he discovered it, no thanks to the Jewish people who are trying to keep this secret to themselves. And if you implement this, then God will make you rich too, because it's just a law of the universe. This is secret Jewish knowledge. That's what he's saying. Those are the types of circumstances that I only ever hear that phrase uttered, secret Jewish knowledge. And it's as anti-Semitic as it gets. So, yeah.
Came out of it's very special.
It's all the same thing. It just got different names on it.
Absolutely. But they got kicked off by the Jews who were actually writing it down and doing it.
Oh, my God, dude.
So you get the credit.
Writing. Let's talk about writing for a minute. It is about writing because what...
Oh, we got Coop Master in the house. Welcome. Yeah, maybe you can help with some of the context on this because they are getting real anti-Semitic right now, or they're about to, at the very least. Oh my God, dude, it's getting wacky up in this piece. So Roseanne here claims to be Jewish, and I'm not really convinced that she is. I'm thinking actually maybe she's completely full of shit. So maybe you can add context to this as we continue forward.
You deprogram yourself, as per Kathy O'Brien in her book, Time to Heal.
Kathy O'Brien, never heard of her before. Okay.
And her husband was a CIA guy who was into mind sciences, and he taught her that when the act of writing out an experience makes your mind engage, and you begin to heal. And that's why they outlawed.
That's how they're going to be programmed, is to write it down.
In the schools now, it's
That's when they debrief somebody, they'll say, write it.
Write it. Don't.
What? So if you write something down, then it's like programming you or something? What are they talking about? I'm so lost.
Read it.
Because that gets into the deeper, yeah.
Don't read it through the eyes, just write it, because writing engages part of your brain that trigger critical thinking.
And this is key. So exactly, listening and writing.
No more. They don't.
And that's why people ask, why do I put up text? I tell the crew, I don't want to be on screen. Everything I say, pull up text, because that engages the brain. And I'm using mind science there. I didn't get trained in it at some university.
Dude, I think he's just completely full of shit. Like, I have no idea. Who knows? Maybe writing or adding text to something contributes to somebody understanding it more fully. That's plausible, right? That's totally believable. But don't believe a word out of their mouths. Not one. Even if it sounds intuitively correct, look it up yourself before believing it. That is so important. These people lie for a living.
I know that. So we're like, if we tell you something, we show you the clip for yourself, or we show you an article, or we show you a definition. We want you to go look at that to trigger your brain.
Right.
Because we don't want to program you with a pre-program. We want to unlock your brain.
Right. So the most powerful programming is the stuff you hear, too. So we hear it all goddamn day long. Excuse my French. Right. But
wow. For somebody who is deeply, deeply religious and starts her whole bit out with a prayer, surprised to hear something like that. You know, she, honestly, in my opinion, I'd be willing to bet anything that she never gave a shit about religion, doesn't really care that much, is not deeply invested in this. She just wants to use it as a weapon against the people she doesn't like.
All day long.
Oh, by the way, yeah, oh boy, okay. Hang on, give me a second. This is really hard to nail. This next section of the game of these trials are really difficult to get right without fail, because you only have so many chances at it, and you have no armor. You only have a couple of shields. If you miss it, then, you know, you're fucked. So, anyway. Do Jewish people say amen? I'm not sure. I don't know. That maybe they do. I'm just not really super familiar with Jewish culture, so.
We hear it. And people leave their TV on to CNN in the airports.
And by the way, when you see me on my phone, I'm not ignoring you. I'm sending them links to put up on screen.
Good for you.
When I see these comedians go, "What are you doing on your phone?" Or Gavin McGinnis was in studio a few weeks ago with Alex Stein, and
Oh, dude, Gavin McGinnis is just an angry human being. Holy shit, that guy is something else. He screams for no reason, loses his mind out of nowhere a lot of the time. He's the guy that started the Proud Boys, and if you don't know him, he started the Proud Boys and he started Vice News. He was one of the founders of Vice News, one of 3, I think. Anyway.
crews on their phones, he blows up. What are you doing on your phones? Yeah, they were screwing around. No, when I'm on my phone, I'm not screwing around. I'm saying, put this up, put that up. But keep going, Roseanne.
I know you're never screwing around. You're serious of fucking heart attack. I know that.
Wow. What a thing to believe about Alex Jones.
But so am I.
Exactly. So keep going.
But we are for God. Isn't that weird? That, like, I learned this in such a weird way, because I want to talk about how I was shown this, because I really want people to know this. The other thing they brainwashed us into, this is something very, very important that I want to share, because I learned it myself. They keep on talking about love, 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 love. Well, love is great, but you know what? The vast majority...
I thought she was saying blah. I guess she's saying love. They keep talking about love. Well, love is great, but, okay, well, you start a sentence out that way. I don't have high hopes for it, but let's stick it out, see what she says about it.
Well, love is great, but you know what? The vast majority of little children on this earth, they don't know what that is. They don't even know what that feeling is, and I want people to hear that and know it. And
okay, I'm not really sure what she's talking about.
Wake up to it. Because that is the truth. The vast majority of little children on this earth, they don't know what love is.
Okay, didn't she just say that? I didn't rewind. This is just a continuation. What is she talking about right now?
Hello? That's what we're fighting for right now. That's what the information war is about right now, are those children. Am I right, Alex?
What children? Who? They don't know what love is? I'm so fucking lost right now.
10%. They want to catch them early, isolate them, have the state take them over, and we're here to get people to not listen to what we say, not believe what we're saying, but to simply unlock their minds, and God has given us tools to do it. So talk about that, and this important holiday. People say, well, I don't follow this, I don't follow that. No. Saturday's a very important day, as you were saying, and people need to really open their minds up and really...
Okay, I could be wrong. I believe that most Jewish people, most traditionally Jewish people, celebrate Sabbath on Sunday. Is that right? Or is it Saturday? I think it's Sunday. We got some Jewish people in the chat. Okay, Friday night, sundown to Saturday night, sundown, is what I'm getting. Okay. Shabbat is Saturday. Okay, there you go. Friday night, sundown to Saturday night, sundown. Now I know.
Be aware of the system and be aware that we should really thank God. The awakening is huge. I mean, I was in an airport yesterday, and used to, I'd shake 20 hands, I get one FU for every 20. I got nothing but love. And again, people say, I'm not saying, oh, I'm so popular. No. I'm this demonized person, and the system is so hated and distrusted now that people go automatically, well, this guy must be good. That says how weak the power structure is.
It absolutely does, but they forget, like, the power structure, this big pyramid, it's all about pyramids. Well, this pyramid...
Oh, here we go. It's about to go down conspiracy lane, as if we haven't already been.
...that they constructed, the money people, I'm talking about the people who own the world,
The Jews, right? Is that who she's referring to right now, the Jews?
Forgot that the big old base that holds them up.
Yep. 3 Jews on screen. And notice that they showed them with, like, they look all decrepit, like they're, decaying, basically. On the right, George Soros, he is Jewish. He was actually a Holocaust survivor. In the middle, I don't remember who these two are. Let me see if I can find out real quick. Okay. Google image search. This is this the guy? This is the guy. Marco Grobe? Oh no, that's just who made the image. Okay. Dude, this is so badly filtered that even Google image search can't pick up on who these people are. Oh, here's one. David Rockefeller, investment banker, chief executive of Chase Manhattan. Is he Jewish? Please tell me if he's Jewish or not. It looks like he is Jewish. Yep, he's Jewish. Okay, so we've got two Jewish people. We've got Rockefeller, we've got Soros, and who is this guy? I have no clue. Is this him? Okay, this guy on the right here, this looks like, God, what's his name? He was in the Nixon administration. It's on the tip of my tongue. This is him, looks like. Henry Kissinger. Yeah, he's Jewish. Yep. And he runs the world, apparently, in their eyes. 3 Jewish people. Alex Jones just showed us pictures of 3 Jewish people that look like they're walking corpses. This is not what they normally look like. He just, put filters on them that made them look like this. Absurd on every level. Anybody surprised by that? The people that run the world, 3 Jewish people.
This pyramid that they constructed, the money people, I'm talking about the people who own the world, they forgot that the big old
and it's 3 Jewish people on screen that apparently run the world.
Base that holds them up, has to be composed of living human beings. I guess they're going to replace...
I'm sorry, the base that holds them up has to be composed of living humans? Okay.
With cyborgs or robots or something. I don't know what, or maybe just clones of people who really don't have any ties to each other, who can't do anything but attack or work. I don't know. Is that what they're after?
No, I totally agree. That's what they want.
Oh, this is interesting. I don't know why they're showing this video here, but they're showing a video of an AI generated depiction of where we came from. So moving from primates to human beings, and it kind of shows us what we will be in the future. I don't know why they're showing this, but okay, let's listen here. And this is Klaus Schwab again. Their big boogeyman at the moment. Worse than Soros, I think.
To each other who can't do anything but attack or work. I don't know. Is that what they're after?
No, I totally agree. That's what they want. Is they want us to be
Nazis' dream, and they brought the Nazis over. They took over our government. With the look, everybody. This is what I want everybody to know. Every penny on this earth is accounted for, and it all goes back to the Bank of International Settlements. Every penny on earth.
Bank of International Settlements? What's she talking about?
Is accounted for in Bern, Switzerland. So the same people are getting the same money from the same guys. That's what people don't understand. Like the same people, the cartel people are getting paid by the same people that, the cartel, the pharmacists, the pharma, big pharma.
Dude, she has entered full-blown conspiracy land and cannot find her way out at this point. This is nuts. Yeah, Henry Kissinger's big-time Republican figure, definitely Scarn Flexander. Yeah, he is. I don't know why they claimed that he was some kind of a Jewish person that controls the world. That's kind of a weird claim about him. I mean, he doesn't have like a ton of money, does he? I mean, he's rich, certainly, but I didn't take him to be like one of the, the big bankers in the world or whatever they want to claim about him. Very odd.
Big military, they're all getting the money from the same guys, and that's what I want people to know. There's only one source of money on this earth, and they're all getting paid by that same money. Am I right?
I totally
No.
agree.
No, you're not right. You couldn't possibly be less right here. Of course, they offer zero evidence for any of this. They never come with evidence, do they?
You're right. You're dead on. International mega settlements after World War II and the Marshall Plan is the global system. And it's running China. It's running all of it. And it's bringing out this new central bank digital currency that tracks.
Dude, was this guy eating another person? Got a guy's face in his mouth? What the hell? God, these people are weird. You know the weirdest thing about this? This stuff that they're talking about here, it's not happening, okay? This is made up, all of it. But they came up with these claims in the first place. The idea that they came up with these claims is disturbing in its own right. How did they come up with this stuff? This is really, really disturbing shit that they're talking about.
Bank digital currency that tracks and controls.
It's like the claim that Jews or atheists or anybody are eating babies. Like, what? This is not happening. And the fact that you claimed that it is concerning for a whole new set of reasons.
Everything we're talking about. We're talking about literal mark of the beast. What is your view on that?
Well, if you look at them castles in Switzerland and where they came from, which was Babylon and Pharaoh, you see, this has never stopped. It's still those same people.
Castles in Switzerland? Okay, Babylon, we know roughly where Babylon was. It's not in Switzerland. It was originally in modern-day Iraq, I believe. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what she's talking about here. The castles in Switzerland are a continuation of Babylon? Of, like, literal, physical Babylon? What?
In control, and those same beliefs that they held are still in control of everyone in power still has to take that same oath or they don't get into power. And
people say, why don't they change?
Don't get that. People don't get that. People don't get that that all goes back to Bern, Switzerland, too, founded in 1291 to launder what they stole from my people's holy temple, all that gold, all those implements. They created Switzerland, the Templars, and who became the Jesuits, to launder that money of all the wars they cause and start, and the BIS decides what wars are going to go and what they're going to fund.
Dude, what is she talking about? Is she really Jewish? I need to know. If she claims to be, but it really seems like she's, just fallen down conspiracy land and views herself as like one of those people who is like just one of God's chosen people, not actually Jewish by ethnicity or by religion, but just wants to be one of God's chosen people, quote unquote, so chooses to identify that way, even though she didn't follow the religion. She doesn't have that ethnicity or anything. It has no connection at all. Just calls herself Jewish because she wants to. That's what this is striking me as. I don't know. Maybe she is ethnically or religiously Jewish, but to have these bizarre beliefs and ideas is just confusing on entirely new levels.
They funded every war and they continue.
Who is they? The Jewish financiers? Is that who she's referring to right now?
To. But Putin, he's making a big stink on that, isn't he?
Oh, of course she's going to support Putin. He's a good guy, okay? He's a nice guy. He's just trying to correct things, set things straight. This is a good example of the right being infiltrated by Russian conspiracies that are very obviously inspired by Vladimir Putin. Like, Putin and the Kremlin more generally is doing everything that they can. Hang on. Doing everything that they can to spread conspiracy theories through the right. They've gotten their hands on QAnon as an ideology, and they spread these conspiracies through QAnon, and they spread through the rest of the right-wing movement through QAnon. And that's what we're listening to right now.
Well, you're absolutely right. The Vatican admits that Switzerland actually runs the Vatican, and is its paramilitary arm everywhere, and that they did during the Crusades, using Christians, haul all the wealth of the Middle East back to that.
Well, you
Dude, what is he even talking about?
can't get to Rome without passing through the Arch of Titus, it's called, and above which, if you have a picture, is the depiction of them sacking the temple of Jerusalem, the second temple, and carrying the Jews to Rome as slaves. Most of the Jewish women who lived at that time in Jerusalem were carried away as sex slaves. They don't ever say that.
And for those that don't know, that's
It's in
70
Vatican
AD.
records.
70 AD, Titus sacks Rome. Guys, pull up the Titus Arch, Vatican, General Titus Arch, Rome. I've seen it myself. But you're dead on. That's another key thing. Explain the sacking of Jerusalem.
Well, they destroyed the second temple, Rome, after the hell.
Okay, if you don't know this story, Jews have a connection to their temples. They're like holy sites, right? And they've had 2 temples, and they're currently hoping to build a third, but they can't for various different reasons. I'll tell you in a minute. So, temple number 1 existed during the days of like Abraham and Isaac and stuff, I believe, and it was destroyed. Temple number 2 came along and was destroyed in 587 BCE. This is a really important date for Jehovah's Witnesses when they think that the second temple was destroyed. Now, the location of the temple is very specific, and the dimensions and everything. It has to be this very specific size and location and everything else. But unfortunately for the Jewish nation at this moment, there is a, what would you call it, like a mosque sitting right there. It's at the Dome of the Rock is what it's called. There's a mosque sitting there in its location. And that mosque is almost certainly never moving. Not until somebody tears it down or something. And if that happens, it will be World War III. So the third temple they've been talking about building, it's not happening anytime soon, if ever. But anyway, that's what they're referring to. The temples are like the holiest of holy sites in Judaism. And honestly, they're really important sites and important, symbols in Christianity too, in their own right. So that's what they're talking about.
The Greeks destroyed one, then they got the other one. And that was in Jesus' time. And that's our temple menorah there. And they carried it to Rome, where they say it sits in the Vatican, but the Vatican denies that it does. But there's big, I guess I'm here as a tribal emissary of the, history of the Jewish people.
Again, I'm skeptical that she is even Jewish or that she even follows this. She may just want that connection to, like, God's chosen people. I don't know.
I know a lot about that. But
she doesn't know a lot about basically anything, honestly.
Yeah, they say in our tribal lore, our Jewish lore, that they're actually, the tribe of Benjamin created 2 temple menorahs and hid one because they knew that the Romans would come and take it.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Jewish lore or whatever, but the Bible lists the 12 sons of Israel, right? The 12 sons, we're talking Benjamin, Reuben, Judah, and so on and so forth down the line. There are 12. Levi is another. They had different jobs within, the nation of Israel. Like the Levites were the treasurers, and the, Benjamites, what would you call them? I don't remember exactly what each one did, but one of them handled the Ark of the Covenant and so on and so forth. They all had different jobs. Jehovah's Witnesses have a belief about the tribes of Israel and the 144,000, and it gets weird and complicated. But anyway, let's keep listening to her. She's talking about the tribe of Benjamin, okay?
They say that tribe of Benjamin hid one, and Esther was a member of the tribe of Benjamin. And so
Esther, okay. Esther is a book of the Bible, and as it turns out, it's a fake book. It doesn't belong in the Bible. It was forged. It was plagiarized or whatever.
It was Mordecai, her uncle. So they say that they're actually, the real one is buried and safe, but the other one stolen is in the Vatican. So
what do you make of John the Revelator? If you really read Revelation, it describes everything perfectly.
Okay, she shouldn't believe in the book of Revelation at all, right? if she's really Jewish, she shouldn't believe in Revelation or any of the Gospels.
What was he jacked into?
What do you mean jacked into?
I mean, John the Revelator in the book of Revelation.
Yeah.
What's your view of Christianity and things that Jesus taught and all that?
Well, I know everything about that too. And I think that, here's what I think the times...
My opinion is she's a Christian. I believe, we'll see. Time will tell. Maybe she'll kind of give up the game and explain her real feelings on it in a minute. But I think she's a Christian who just wants to pretend to be to have some connection to God that's unique or special. That's my take on this so far. We'll see.
We're living now. I'm just going to put it like this. Well, it says, it says in our holy books 2,000 years ago, it totally describes the times we're living in now. It also foretells a computer and an age of...
So the apocalypse thing, this is a very Christian view of the apocalypse, what she's describing here, or the end of days or whatever. The Son of Man is a character described in the Old Testament, and it was supposed to be like a cosmic judge that came along and set things right and sparked Armageddon into being or whatever. And it was supposed to happen when the Messiah showed. So Jesus shows up, fulfilling all of the things, riding in on a donkey and all that other good junk. But he never fulfilled his role as Son of Man. And that's why Jews don't believe that he was the Messiah, because he died before he could, bring Armageddon about. Christians just claim, well, he's coming back a second time. That's what his people claimed, the disciples. They believed he was coming back in their day. In fact, he wasn't supposed to die at all, but he did. So they invented this explanation. Oh, well, he'll be back. That's not how it was supposed to work at all. And Jews realized that at the time and said, he wasn't the Messiah, obviously. He died. The Messiah can't die. The Messiah will bring about the end. So, anyways, that's kind of the Jewish, perspective on it, on the apocalypse or whatever. We'll see how she explains it here.
Instant information and intelligence and data that can't be denied, and that would be the hallmark of this age, and that I believe we are living in, and that is also called the age of Messianic Thought, and that
Age of Messianic Thought, okay. Just dead silence again. I didn't pause it. She was just sitting there completely silent. I mean, now it's paused, but a second ago it wasn't. Let's just step back. Listen to this long, drawn-out silence, as she says.
Messianic Thought, and there's a lot of other things to go into.
Well, tell us what those other things are. Let's hear it. Lay it on me.
What you're saying is the Great Awakening, the evil's coming in to block the Great Awakening?
Yeah, it always has been. It's stepping up, but here's the fact.
She's such a fraud. It's just absurd.
It's already fallen. Babylon has already fallen. I believe that it fell a long, long time ago.
So here's another little tidbit to Jewish beliefs. The idea that Babylon fell, and when Babylon fell, they thought it was a sign of the times and blah, blah, blah. That's when the Second Temple fell, was when Babylon fell, basically. And again, they thought this was like a special time in Jewish lore or whatever. And Jehovah's Witnesses still think it is.
And we're just feeling its thud and the vibration of
I agree. All this control is an attempt for Satan to regain what he lost.
But he's already, I just want people to know, he has already been defeated and God has already won. It's just you have to pick your side now. This is...
Wait, if it's over, why is anyone picking sides? If it's already been fulfilled and we're done and God won and everything, why do I have to pick a side? What?
All about picking the right side. It's all about you. If you have a soul, you have to pick your side. That's what it's all about, I think. And people, they've been mind screwed into picking the wrong side and tricked, because the Satan is a trickster.
The Satan is a trickster. Again, Jews don't believe in Satan. They don't have a concept for Satan. The Canaanites did. The Jews do not. Never did.
And, that's why people are lining up to take a shot that, like I'm talking about, what it does to people. And then the news comes on and says, oh, well, they don't know why that guy died.
What's this? Matthew 3:12. He's ready to separate the chaff from the wheat with his winnowing fork. Then he will clean up the threshing area, gathering the wheat into his barn, but burning the chaff with never-ending fire. Okay.
Of a heart attack.
Is that actually what it says? The New Living Translation. Why would you pick that translation? Let's look this up real quick. Matthew 3:12. Hang on. Let's look up the interlinear version. I want to see what it says in the original language. Winnowing fork is in the hand of him, and he will clear the threshing floor of him, and will gather the wheat of him into the barn. The chaff he will burn up with fire, unquenchable. Okay, roughly, I would say that's a fair translation.
Age 18. I mean, come on.
All right, let's step back.
And then the news comes on and says, oh, well, they don't know why that guy died of a heart attack at age 18. I mean, come on.
Okay, that never happened. What is she even talking about? Is she referring to, what's his name? That NFL player, Jamal? Wait, no, that wasn't his name. What was his name? The NFL player that got hit in the chest while playing football and fell to the ground. He didn't die, first of all, and second, they know exactly why he had a heart attack, and he wasn't 18 either. Wasn't he like 20 something? I mean, it's not for nothing, but I'm just saying they like to twist the details around to their advantage. So I want to be accurate here. Sorry, wanted to hit all of those. That's actually really impressive what I just did. Anyways, you got to hit all these details. You got to get all these details right because they love to twist it around as much as possible.
You've got to see what's right in front of your face, and you have to have the ability, the God-given ability to look at fact and data and not be deceived.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's just you seem to be the one completely missing the point here. These people are the ones that don't seem to be willing to look at data and think about it critically. This is just nuts.
And that's why I am so blown away today while I was watching your last segment about the data you have.
Dude, what are we even looking at right now? Let's look at this. This is propaganda, by the way, so I have to debunk this, I feel. Tributes paid to much-loved Wolverhampton physiologist who died suddenly, age 51. So any examples of somebody dying suddenly is proof that, like, the vaccine is killing them? Like, this is the height of logical fallacy. Died just 5 weeks after giving a preventable blood clot. What? I'm confused about this title. It doesn't even make sense. When was this? What are the details of this case? They don't want you to think about any of that. They want you to automatically assume that they're trustworthy and telling you the truth here, that the vaccine is the cause of everything they're showing on screen. This is propaganda. Tributes paid to young GAA player Connor McCaw died suddenly. Died suddenly has been a common phrase in news for centuries. When my grandmother died, they said she died suddenly, when in reality she died in the middle of the night in her sleep, and she's like 80-something, okay? This happens. This is common language in news. It doesn't mean the vaccine got him and then shook him and killed him like a baby with shaken baby syndrome or something. It's just insane. All of it is insane.
And that's why I'm so blown away today while I was watching your last segment about the data you have compiled about the red states and what vaccine was sent where. This is a campaign of cruelty and death, and they did it on purpose.
Who is they? You know what? I should stop asking that question. They established who they was in the beginning of this. The Jews. They said it's the elite who control all of the money, and then they showed on screen 3 famous Jewish people: George Soros, Henry Kissinger, and David Rockefeller. I don't remember. They're one of the Rockefellers. That's who they showed. It's the Jews. That's who they're talking about.
Did it on purpose to, just like the Nazis did. They studied and they decided what demographic didn't suit them because that demographic doesn't buy their bullshit. So that demographic.
Dude, that is not what happened in Nazi Germany at all. This is honestly fucking disgusting and sad. That she claims to be Jewish. I'm sorry, I don't believe her. And she's comparing Democrats to Nazis because Jews didn't fall for Hitler's BS, and that's why they were targeted. No, that's not why they were targeted. They were targeted long before Hitler even came to power. And the fact that she's claiming that Hitler targeted Jews because they didn't fall for what he had to say is just fucking disgusting, dude. On new levels. That is new levels of fucked up right there.
Has to go. And you know who they don't like? They don't like people of faith. They really don't like us. And their attack right now, it seems to be centered on Catholics, which is really weird. Since the
who's she talking? Okay, so he's saying that Jews are targeting Catholics? Where is she getting any of this?
Vatican's part of it. But they don't like Catholics and they really hate Christians. And I know they don't like us. Well, they don't like some of us.
The Jews, I guess, is who she's talking about. And they really don't like us. See, this is a good example of the character breaking. She wants to pretend to be like part of the Jewish community. And she just kind of gave up the game there. She does not identify as Jewish. She pretends to be Jewish when it's convenient. I honestly don't believe that she observes it all. This is a Saturday. She's supposed to be observing the Sabbath. This is not observing the Sabbath. You know what Jewish people do on the Sabbath? They will go as far as to not even turn on a light switch because it could be seen as working. They won't turn on their ovens. They'll turn their ovens on to like a low heat, like 200 degrees, and let it burn all day long so that they don't have to turn it on Sabbath. If they turn it on the Sabbath, then they view it as working, and God will not forgive them for that. They can't use a computer. They can't use electronics because that would be igniting a flame, or in their minds, I guess. They can't hit a light switch. They can't even ask somebody else to turn the light on because that'd be asking someone else to sin for them. They can suggest that they want the light to turn on or the light to be on, but they cannot ask somebody to turn the light on. They take this shit seriously. And here we have Roseanne using a microphone on the Sabbath, sitting in front of a bunch of lights and a camera and working. She is straight up working on the Sabbath. I do not believe for a second that she identifies as Jewish.
But, then we have to go real deep into what the Bible says about what happened in Egypt, which I want to talk about too. When these people who profess themselves to be Jews but are actually anti-Jews.
Like Roseanne, for example? That couldn't possibly describe Roseanne any better.
I really want to talk about that too.
You got the floor. Boom. Tell us.
Well, when Moses was leading the children of Israel...
Moses is not a real person, by the way. I don't feel I need to even say this, but I'm going to anyways. There is no evidence or record of Moses being real.
According to Exodus, when he was taking them out, God told him, don't take out this certain class of people that serve Pharaoh. They were the black magicians and lawyers and servants. They were the lawyer class, the judges and such. They were the servant class, as we call them, like I guess politicians like we have right now, and they were Jewish.
Oh, she said it. Okay, if you're watching this 5 years in the future, don't know the reference, George Santos was just elected to Congress, and just about every single thing that he said was a lie. He claimed to be Jewish. That was a lie. He claimed his mother died in the World Trade Center attack in 2001. That was a lie. Then he claimed that she was at the World Trade Centers but survived it. Lie. Literally even his name was a lie. His name isn't even George Santos. It's Anthony DeVolder. Everything he said was a lie. Everything. He said that he's gay. Well, he was married to a woman for 10 years. Now that maybe he is gay, and people do that sometimes, but you got to be suspicious of everything at this point. So when called on it, you're not Jewish. You're Catholic. You were raised Catholic. Your family was never Jewish to any degree, ever. His answer to that was, well, I said I'm Jewish, a little Jewish, kind of. No, you weren't. You're not. That's just a blatant, flat-out, bald-faced fucking lie. So that's the reference Roseanne is making here. Keep listening.
Like we have right now, and they were Jewish.
The managerial class for the elite.
Yes, and there's a name.
Okay, yeah, Haunted Shadows Legacy. His whole name is George Anthony DeVolder Santos. That's fair. Yeah, that's what people dug up as far as I could tell. So, yeah, you're right. I got to clarify on that one. Anyway, keep listening to Roseanne here.
And they were Jewish.
The managerial class for the elite.
Yes, and there's a name that God gave them, and it was Erev Rav, which means good teachers of bad information. When you break it down, that's
perfectly said. They're smart. They're good teachers, but they teach bad.
That's my interpretation. Good teachers of bad information, and bad information is that which leads the human beings to death, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have no idea what she's going on about. It's just a confusing mess, dude. Like, she doesn't seem to be saying anything of value right now. Is it just me? It's like she's making up, like, everything right off the top of her head. It's just bizarre.